Coming up is a coaching call I did where you will discover how to name your app to highlight your app's benefits, outside the box ASO strategies, and using popular Amazon books for app icon inspiration. Stay tuned. Hello, Anna. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Steve. How are you?
I am good. So tell me about Caveman, and then we'll get into some of the questions you have for me.
Okay, so it's an app that gives 365 tips for men on how to be romantic and show their love for their woman. It helps men who really don't know how to do the romance thing.
Done. I am that target market. Love it. Okay. 365. So every day I can do something romantic for my wife.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why did you call it Caveman?
Because, the Neanderthal man, the man who really, is not a man of words, who doesn't know how to be the modern age man, which is the showing of the love. So I just, call those kind of men cavemen. I've always called those kind of men cavemen. My husband a caveman. It just kind of like stuck.
Okay, cool. So before we get into the questions, my feedback would be that seems like a hard term, and then when I search for it, you're not appearing that high, and then also nobody wants to be a caveman. We want to be a Romeo, right? So maybe kind of like switching. I'm kind of doing some research as we talk. Is Romeo a better word? Because, like we want to become this person. So I would probably term it with what we want to become rather than, it's like calling somebody, saying just, I don't know, a loser. Like it's not that extreme, but it's like, I don't know, I want to be a winner. Like I want to be strong. So I'd rather be strong rather than a weak person.
Great tip.
Yeah. That's the first thing I would do. So I bought the app. It's a paid app. Really cool. Romance tip number 1. Romance tip. Okay. How do I access romance? Do I have to tap into it? Okay, cool.
Just tap into it. Tap again.
Something. Offer to help her with something if you see she is tired or irritated. Okay, I love it. Okay, I like this. So from a UI perspective, I didn't think to tap, but I'll eventually get there, but maybe for the tip 1, maybe underneath it, because, you're dominating the screen with the tip 1, which looks beautiful. Either show it, right? Because there's just little words in there, or say tap to see it, right?
Okay.
Because I like, I mean, are they long, the tips?
Some of them are long, and because I used Good Barber, where it has to have that first page, which I asked them if I can get around not having that page, but it has to have a title page and then go into the content. And I can put tap to see, but I can't put the whole thing inside there.
Okay. I'm laughing because I went under sex tip number 1. Do you know what the sex tip number 1 is?
I do know. And my husband actually said, maybe start a little bit softer.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't know it'd be a win for me. I thought it was for her. Yeah, that's a good laugh. So I love the design of this. I think it's really well designed. I would just put the tip here personally. Then I could just scroll through.
Can't do it.
Can't do it? What?
I can't do it because it doesn't let me put it's a title, and then I have to put the content in another box, and the title doesn't have that many characters. So that's I can ridiculous. Put tap to see. I know. I already asked Good Barber, many times about that, and they said that's the only way it can be done.
Okay, so they're no, I mean, okay, well, we're some limitations. Okay. Cool. So what are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? How do I improve? Free versus... Okay, let's go through some of the questions. So I think, what are you doing right? Well designed. I love the tips in there. Really funny as well. So I think you're doing that right. wrong wise, I might improve the app in terms of changing the name and then
Yeah.
using ASO to figure it out. So like come up with Romeo, like other things, suave, something that men want to inspire them, right? Inspire somebody like me. I'm more of a goof, funny man. I could probably make my wife laugh, but I could probably tend to be a little bit more romantic at times. And then from an ASO perspective, one tip that I'll give you that I think will be beneficial is think through different things that men might look for, like mental health, GQ, that is outside of just relationships. So, I think that's how we've become really good at ASO is we think just not like directly related to the app, but also somewhat related to the app. So mental health, GQ, maybe even Playboy or Esquire, see if those keywords have one, they should have high traffic, and two, they tend to have lower difficulties if you start thinking through that, right? So that's what I would also look at too, is what other keywords you can target besides just obviously relationship tips and romance advice, because those are pretty competitive as well. And then rename it. I would rename the app with that. Like from an icon perspective too, I know you have the C and then X and M for caveman, I'm assuming, but like a rose or like something that shows men that like they're suave and then they can have, the women of their dreams, something like that. That's what I would look at. And I might even look at like pickup tips on Amazon, see what kind of books have the most traction and what kind of graphics or design they have to see if you can borrow some things from them. From
Awesome.
the free with, I do like everything as free better because you can just drive more downloads that way. You actually would probably make more money. This type of app, because you have the people that are in it, I'm assuming you have the stats that they'll be in it. They might look every day. You can monetize a lot more, a lot better with ads. Because once you suck a guy in there, you can then say like, hey, okay, my mind's getting a little bit too far ahead, but because I'm in there, like I'll see the ads. So you'll actually make money from banner ads. One of the biggest things that I've learned from interviewing all the people on the podcast is Ketchup and other people have said, oh, banner ads are really well, like they're the number two. Ketchup told me number two ad unit that performs the best from a revenue perspective are banner ads. So for an app like this where people will stay in the app for a longer period of time, you can monetize better through ads. And then obviously you can pay to remove ads, or you can pay for, this will tie in nicely with what I was thinking with the day, let's say day 7 tips are free, or 14.
Okay,
You
again,
can't do that.
Good Barber, no in-app purchases. They don't do them yet.
Okay, annoying.
And that's why I made it paid, because it's either going to be all free and then just the ad revenue, or pay it and then there's no ads inside it, but then that's one pay and then you get all the tips in there. So that's where I'm a bit confused. What would be the best way to go?
Okay.
Get a programmer and make the app again.
You did read my mind. The part of it, I only say that because it's such an easy app to build. Right? The coding is very easy on this type of app. So it's like, it reminds me of the first app that I built using sample code because it was just a flashcard app. And then being able to go in here, then you're into the flashcard, right? And then you're just swiping. So it's like, it's very easy from a technical perspective to build this app. And so, yeah, like Good Barber, we're not making them, you say it a lot cooler, Anna, but we're not giving a greatest plug, but like it's very limited. And I think you can monetize a lot better with ads in here. And then what I would say from a monetization usability perspective would be to put different levels for guys. Guys are very competitive. They like that crap. And so it'd be like, okay, day 1 to 7, for instance, or you can break it up to 30-day, 10-day chunks, whatever you want to build it up. But say, look, here is, you're a complete caveman right now. And then here is I don't know, you're a monkey, now you're caveman, and then and all the way up to certain levels. So you encourage them to reach
Romeo.
certain levels. And I think it would be interesting, like from usability perspective, once I'm into the romance phase. Oh, is the star meaning that I did it type of thing?
Star is favorites. You can add them to your favorites.
Okay, so I think the favorites, but then help like if we gamify this a little bit, I then say I check mark it. So I accomplish certain levels, then that gets me into Romeo status with day 365 or whatever. Once I hit that level, I hit Romeo status. So that's what I would do for that. Let's see what else. Anything come to your mind?
Um, that would all require to start basically a whole new app.
Kind of, in a way. I mean, these are like down the road things. I think
Yeah.
right now.
And then what I asked you about down the road, that was, one of the questions, like, okay, how do you keep an app going, for more than just 1 year or the launch phase and then it just dies off so that would be keep it going, build it up, make it more of a game or competitive, like you said,
Yep.
have more fun.
Yep. And
Now, with the keywords that you mentioned about like things like Playboy, GQ, Esquire, Men's Magazine kind of words, would they go in the description or would they be part of like for the Apple keywords, as in just those 100 the characters that you get the spaces?
great question. So the way we hack this is I'm going to pull the data for you just on Sensor Tower. I would prefer to use mobile action, but Sensor Tower allows me to have unlimited keywords when I'm doing these type of searches. So GQ, for example, Playboy. Okay, to answer your question, because they're trademark terms, you got to be careful, right? So to get around it is to use the advanced ASO strategies that I've shared, where you hide certain things into the Spanish Mexico localization, or maybe even you're based in Australia, like maybe there'll be more lenient by putting in the UK or Australia local. Like if you put Playboy and all that stuff, maybe they'll let it go. Whereas US, you probably likely cannot put all that stuff in there because Playboy will find out and then be like, hey, you're using a trademark term. You can't use this in your app. So the way to hide it, app name has the most weight, but the way to hide it is to put it into the Spanish Mexico localization. And the way I would do it is put in, we're just testing this. So what I found is that it depends on the reviewer. Apple's starting to come down, remove the Spanish Mexico localization if all you have are English keywords. So they're just like, they're not even letting you go through with it. So the way I'm trying to get around with it, I haven't shared this publicly because I don't know if it works yet, is put Spanish keywords in there and then put Playboy, right? So like, hey, blah, 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 blah.
In there, as in the keywords?
In the app name.
In the app name?
That's going to give you the biggest weight, right? Because if I hit it...
I'm learning. This is why I asked you for
okay.
help.
So yeah, it has the most weight, the app name. So put it in the app name. So let's say you stick with Caveman or you call it Romeo. It'd be Romeo.
I'm thinking Caveman to Romeo.
I'm sorry?
I'm thinking Caveman to Romeo.
Great one. Caveman to Romeo. That's perfect.
Keeps the name Caveman, but then it adds the Romeo.
Yeah. Like Couch to 5K. There's Couch to 5K. That's a really popular app. So Caveman to Romeo. Love it. So Caveman to Romeo and then relationship tips or whatever that is in Spanish. Then put to become a Playboy. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like you can, because you're leveraging Playboy, now you're like, oh, Romeo to Caveman to Romeo to Playboy. Right? And like, oh, hey, what am I doing wrong? Like that makes sense, right? So I would play around with that. Like try to do it that way. And then let's see.
Awesome.
So definitely all your high traffic keywords you want in the app name. The lower competition, lower traffic keywords, you put it into the keywords field. And then iOS app description, maybe it comes into play on iOS 11. Maybe it doesn't. Right now, by just changing the app name and keywords, we've been able to find our success. That's how we've been able to. I don't even touch the description that much. The thing that you got to know too, Anna, is for iOS 11, subtitle is coming into play, and that is actually being indexed by Apple right now. So before even iOS 11 is out, they're already starting to index the subtitle.
What does that mean?
Subtitle is a new feature, a new line in Apple that they just added. So kind of like Google Play has a short description, but it's
I was
app
going to say,
name.
so similar to the short description of Google Play. I was going to ask, is it
Very
the
similar.
same?
Yes, this is the same.
Okay, got it.
Oh, you're on Google Play as well. Okay, cool.
I am, but I'm getting like almost no downloads on Google Play. Apple is much, much stronger.
Yeah. And then you have this. Oh, you have it as buy. Okay, cool. And then sustain wise, like because you're paid right now, so something that I would test is maybe even increasing the price. Just test it, right? And then running Apple search ads on this, because then you can say, look, I can pay $1 per download because I know I'm making $1 regardless. So by charging a little bit more, you then you have more flexibility on Apple search ads too.
Okay.
Yeah. Then all that works, then I would probably like find a quick programmer. 'Cause, I mean, it shouldn't be more than like $1,000 to get this done. So simple. So simple.
Okay. Well, it's worth looking into, because if every year I'm gonna be paying about $570 for the Good Baba fee.
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
So you pay a programmer, basically you do the one fee, you do the upfront fee, and then you don't pay any more apart from updates.
Yeah, which sucks too, but yeah. Yeah, I like it. Other than that, yeah. I don't know what else I would do.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's been really helpful. Now, with ads, would you do Google AdWords? Is that the best one to use for ads? Because I've never looked into ads.
There's some ad media. I'm not an expert on this by any means. So there's some mediation platforms out there. I know TapDAC is one that I'm familiar with. Tap and then DAK, I believe. And then MoPub is another one. So I would say definitely use a mediator, because they'll just find you the best performing ones to show. And then Google Play, you'd have to use Google Play. That's what I would use. AdMob, I think, is the Google Play one. So, yeah. But other than that.
So basically, all really it is that just trial and error. Just keep on trying, keep on poking different buttons, pressing different things, trying different things, and then see what works. That's basically what you'd recommend?
Pretty much. I mean, what I would do with ASO, I think you got, the advice I gave was you got a solid strategy. I think you can leverage some of the men brands out there and see if they have good traffic, like Axe, for example. Like think through like all outside the box type of keywords. Axe, anything that is targeting men. Axe is like a deodorant that I use, but like,
not the actual tool.
Yeah, no, but like that might be a little bit more in terms of traffic. What I'm looking at is pretty competitive, but think through all that's outside of just relationship tips, because I don't know if men or like I don't know if we're looking for relationship tips. Like we're freaking lazy in that regard, and so you almost want to focus on things that we might be looking for, and then we stumble upon to Caveman and Romeo. I was like, oh, what's this? Like, that's interesting. Let me check that out, type of thing.
Okay,
and then
cool.
The other thing is you can run the pay to free strategy. The only thing that you don't have right now is you need a few reviews to run this campaign, but that will drive downloads for you. And an advanced trick is to play around with the price drops from like $4 to all the way to $1, because there are bots out there that automatically cover these huge price drop campaigns. And so I know somebody who shared this on the podcast, but he does this almost every week. He just wrote a program to change the price every week to just drive downloads. And it's a paid app. And what he does is, changes it to $2.99 every Wednesday. It drops to $1.99 every Thursday, and then he just gets some downloads. So it's a little bit of pain, but I might try for a couple of weeks, see how it performs. And I would probably create like $9.99 and then drop it to $1. So on your worst performing downloads day, change it to a really high price, and then a couple of days later, just change it back to $1. And then these bots will automatically pick up on this price change and then cover you on certain sites. Certain sites it's just a bot that covers it all. So you don't have to pitch them; they just cover it.
Okay. Now, golden rule is with a paid app, no ads unless you can remove them. Or do
Repeat
paid
that.
apps still have ads? Just is there like a golden rule in apps that if you have a paid app, you can't have ads in them?
No, I wouldn't say that.
But would that annoy people in your
Yeah,
experience?
I would be annoyed if you had a banner ad and I paid for your app and then you're showing me banner ads. I'd be a little bit annoyed by that. Yeah, but like there are certain you can always do rewarded video. That's considered an ad. For I know some paid apps do have that, and some certain paid apps
What
are
is
paid.
that?
Oh, I'm sorry, rewarded video. So that's essentially like you finish it, you get something in return for watching the video,
Okay.
right?
And what would
So
you get?
like more content. So for you, it'd be like 1 to 24 is free or $1, but to get 25 and whatever, you have to either pay $1 or watch this quick video ad, and then that unlocks the next level, and then so forth. So if you want to go this route, you can go paid with in-app purchases for not ads necessarily, but for more content. And certain people do that.
Okay, rewarded video. Okay, cool. Well, I just finished my 3-day app gone free campaign without actually. I emailed Tyler from App Advice and he didn't get back to me.
So you don't have reviews. That's the thing.
I have 2 5-star reviews on Google Play, but not on Apple.
Yeah, you need some reviews on Apple. I'll leave you one.
On the app.
But
Oh, thank you.
You need some. So what I typically tell clients is make it free for a couple of days. Just a couple of days, don't tell anybody, and then just get some friends to be like, hey, can I get some reviews? Can I buy? You can buy some reviews, but Apple's catching on to them, and so I would just beg my friends.
Well, I haven't even done that. I haven't asked even my husband. No one's written a review for me, so I haven't even asked that. And I realized, people always ask, "Hey, subscribe to my channel, write a review, like my," and I haven't done any of that. So I thought, oh, that's one thing that I should really get onto to make my friends, the people who I know have bought it, to write a review.
Yes, get them to write a review. That will help out, and then Tyler will eventually cover it.
Cool. Okay. Fantastic. Cool.
Anything else, Hannah?
That's it.
Sweet.
Not that I can think of right now. I really like, it's everything that you said is really amazing and things that I haven't even thought of. So it's all completely new. So I'm going to have to really sit down and study all of these things and see what I can do and hopefully look for a program or two in the future. I don't think I'll be able to learn how to code in the next, few months. I don't know.
Can I send you the resource? So this is what I would use. Corona SDK. Are you familiar with like web stuff?
As in
like
stuff?
JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Do you know any of that stuff by any chance?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, Corona is really easy to use.
I made my app. I've made lots of Wix websites. I can learn it if I just know how to learn it. If I get the tools to learn it, I can learn these things. I actually really enjoy it. I've made lots of websites and things like that, but using non-coding. So I guess I just have to learn the codes and the technique, and then I can easily do it.
It was the easiest one for me to. I have a little bit of background in HTML and PHP and all that stuff, but like Objective-C, all that stuff went over my head. But Corona was the one that I was like, oh, I get this. And it was really easy for me to use, and I used the sample code. They have this slideshow sample code that would be perfect for your app. Like this, it reminds me of the first app that I built because it's just like slide, 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 and that's all you can do is make it really slide, slide, slide. So that app builder is really easy to use. You do have to code it, so it's not this drag and drop thing, but you do have to learn how to code a little bit, but it's pretty easy. So I would just say, grab the sample code, learn from that sample code. And that's what I did with my first app. Use that sample code, modify it. And it's a lot easier to get it out into the Apple store. And it's cross-platform. So you can get it out on both app stores.
But I would lose all of my original app people, wouldn't I? The people who downloaded my original app.
No.
You just add it on?
You would lose, I'm sorry, so say that again, you would lose what?
Would I lose the people who I've already, like, I've had my app for about, I'd say now 4 months. So 4 or 5 months. So would I lose like the 280 downloads that I've got?
No, because you're essentially, it's the same app from an Apple perspective and from a user perspective. It's just a different code base.
Different code base. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd submit, yeah, it's the same app from an Apple perspective.
Same app. Okay. I told you I'm
okay.
very low, very beginner in the world of app making.
It's like a domain, right? Like think about a domain like www.com. I can change it from WordPress to something else and still have www.com, whatever.
Okay, fantastic. Steve, thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much for helping me out, and I hope that I'm going to see this, because I need to get the video again so I can go back 1,000 times over and listen again. I've made some notes, but I want to watch this again. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for reading my letter and taking me up on the offer.
Absolutely. Any time. Let me know how it goes. Give me feedback. Keep me posted.
Sorry?
Keep me posted on what happens.
I will. And I'll start this Corona SDK thing tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm actually in Brazil. I'm not in Australia. I'm in Brazil.
Oh, no way. Nice.
Yeah, so that's why it's nighttime here and not morning. My husband's Brazilian, so I'm visiting his family. We've been here for the last 2 months.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds
living the holiday life. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll start learning some coding.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you again.